welcome to Matters Arising. This morning, Nigerians are already making the mockery of the Senate that made mockery of themselves. You know, somebody was just joking yesterday. Say, if you see any senator, if you want to scare him, just tell him that I will ensure that electronic transmission is used for election in your just run away. And how Senate, they keep looking for the avenue to manufacture that their manual miracle. Now they went back, whether it's out of pressure or out of trying to still pretend that they know what they are doing. They went back. At the end of the day, it is still conditional. It's still the same thing. No work is done. No movement. No progress was recorded. That the manual can override if.
I'm really wondering that you were expecting anything from the Nigerian Senate. You know, the Senate we have today is we cannot even say they are the 19th century Senate. They are like the 20th century Senate.
Yeah.
They are reinvented in the 21st Senate. You know, it's a very,
21st century
shameful thing for you to say that, oh, yes, we have a Senate in the 21st century that are saying that we can't transmit, result electronically. Like you rightly pointed out, it shows that at their time, in their own central district, they are saying that they are still living in the archaic world when everybody has gone digital. So what does that show to the world? That shows to the world that we have not started moving. We are still lying, that we have not started crawling at all. But that's not the position. That's not the true position of Nigeria. We have gone ahead because we have frontal wave and all of that. These are apps developed by Nigeria and they are operating in Nigeria. And it's also a fact today that we can be in a village, in a remote village, and transfer money from wherever the money goes to, and the money gets there. And people in the United States everywhere transfer money to their loved ones in the remote village, and they receive the money. So what is the difference between transmitting result from the voting point to the RLs?
There is a difference. The difference is that they do not want the people to elect their leaders.
That's what I'm going, because they know that that is the only way the voters' vote will count. That is the only way the Nigerian people will elect the rightful person into the office. That is the only way the people who employ them can also fire them. But what they have done today is that they will perpetuate themselves in power without, in the name of the people employed them, without the people having a say over their position.
Without the people employing them. Is it not a personal indictment that I'll be bragging that in my senatorial district that my people do not have access to network, and I'm in the Senate and I'm their senator? Isn't that an indictment for me not to even be elected? Isn't that a statement confirming that I have not performed? I mean,
you see, we need at this time to start calling him and not to generalize, because there are still some senators. Don't forget, there were senators that had a meeting. Abure, Natasha. I even saw the statement by Seriaki Dixon and call it a shame because he's a member of that committee, Mongunu, and so many of them that kicked against it. But you're talking about a bunch of people that have decided,
and a few of them holding this country to ransom.
Some of them former governors, especially the Senate President himself, Senator Apapa, Senator Uzo. Kalu was governor 8 years. Kalu has been a senator 12 years, and he's telling us that in his village that there's no network. By this time, I think the people in his village should get ready to make sure he doesn't come back to the Senate.
How would they have the opportunity to make sure that he doesn't come back?
It's a minus to them. They should rise up. Listen, democracy is about number. Kalu should be one person, except the people of Abure, who I know that they are very intelligent, they are very educated, are saying that Senator Oju Uzo Kalu has held them down. This is the time for them to speak up and show that their vote counts. So we want to say thank you to these senators that have distinguished themselves, and not only because there's what you call the silent majority. They've decided not to be the silent majority. They've held press conference. Abaribe, Natasha, and so many of them, Seriaki, they stood up and said that no, we voted and said there must be electronic transmission of results or nothing. Now what they have given us, Okafor, Nigeria is gone. Under Tinubu, Nigeria has declined and gone into the abyss. Let's say the truth as it is. This is not the democracy we are practicing. This is not the intelligence and knowledge Nigerians have. We want a true representation. In India, over 1.3 billion people can do the democratic.
Over 600 and something million voters voted in their last election.
Our own is not
and it was
20
available
million
before 24 hours. It was available before 24 hours. The Nigeria of today has become a joke.
You see, what has happened in Nigeria is not because we don't have the technology or we cannot do what other countries are doing. What has happened is a coup by the Senate, by the APC-led government against the Nigerian people. You see, because they have the powers in their hand, they feel they could dictate to anybody. What happened in the Senate yesterday was very simple. It's just a coup. Yes, you said you want electronic voting. Yes, we gave you electronic. They put proviso.
But we didn't just want electronic voting. We want a mandatory electronic.
Where I'm going. In this country, we know as a fact that every law that we are operating here today, the law doesn't operate. The government of the day does not operate the law, but they operate
the exception.
The proviso,
yes.
The exception, and that is why they decide to bring in the proviso where there is no network, and that day there will not be network anywhere. What does that say? He said from the word go, they've told that there will be no network on that because Apapa has told us that it is not part of the law. It is the work of the Senate to make it part of the law. The Senate now went ahead to say that it is the law now, but there's a proviso. Next year, Apapa will tell you that there is no network. He will now hide under the proviso to manufacture result and declare result. Because what they were saying, if I hear them correctly, that will be the only instrument with which they will declare results if network fail. So what does that tell you? That is one of the kind of result you get from Rivers State. You should expect more of them. From
so the manual collation is even the superior.
It is superior. That's why I'm just telling you that the kind of result sheet you get from Rivers State 2023 election when they use speed, you will expect it all over the country because it became the authenticity or the authentication of result, not the transmission anymore.
Okay, looking at the Senate we have now, Nigerians are being too respectful of what is going on. I was in National Assembly. I saw the protest and everything yesterday. I do not see that protest. Even as a matter of fact, Amechi was saying, the former governor, Honorable Amechi, was saying that the kind of traction he expected here is not what it is. It's more of somebody picking phone, talking and putting on social media, putting on Facebook, gallivanting, clapping, dressing in a fashionable way. People say you are fighting. The kind of mammoth crowd I was expecting to be in National Assembly continuously, whether ignoring the Senate, whatever they are passing, that's not making progress, ignoring them and continuing that song, even though it's going to take them till the day of election. But Nigerians are not coming out. There's a few, I saw Aisha, Peter, just a few people coming around. Amechi was there with his son, a medical doctor, who he has said, he can treat anybody, should anybody, need attention on things like that. P2B was there. Obviously, he kickstarted it with Tanko and the rest.
Everybody speaking from his base.
If he was around, he would have been there. But I expected the ordinary persons and people to suspend whatever they are doing. The toothless NLC we've got today, nothing. The toothless NANS, nothing. These agencies still using nothing. Are they accepting what is coming out from the minority of this Senate? Because eventually, the people that kicked against these real-time electronic results are actually the leadership of the Senate. It's not the entire Senate.
Okay, for what we had in our national item before, there was a line that said, the labor of our heroes past shall not be in vain. But if you look at what it is right now, it looks as if the labor of our heroes past are in vain because Nigerians don't recognize those that fought for them. As a result of that, a lot of people are staying away. Don't forget, we have said it consistently. Hunger has been weaponized. For people to come to rally, you will agree with me, they will need money to get there. That's the truth. So the politicians have held a lot of people to their jugular that if they are not the one organizing it and making sure that transport is made available for everybody, it's going to be difficult for them to
look at where I'm going. Outside the money, has Nigerian gotten to a point where if you are not the face of the protest, or if on the protest ground, the camera is not going to be on you to speak, on the protest ground, nobody's going to call on you, on the protest ground, you don't have large followers, that they don't really participate in the protest again, because they'll say, if I go there to protest, I'm not the one talking, the camera is not on me, I'm not the one that my followers are hailing and things like that, I take consign me. It's like you are going there to aid others. They now see the protest as content instead of a fight
as a movement,
as a movement, instead of a fight for our democracy that concerns the entire Nigeria.
You see, that's what we have come to. Do you understand? In today's world, it's a social media world. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah,
so everybody is a content creator. Everybody also wants to benefit. Do you understand?
In some form.
In some form. And let me also tell you the one I was saying before. You take a bottle, put a grasshopper inside, and cock it. The grasshopper jumps to the extent of where the lid is, and it can't jump more than that. Even when you open the lid after a while, the grasshopper cannot jump beyond that. That's the state we are today.
Yes, I think I believe. Somebody told me that in India, there's a way they train this. Is it cow or whatever? At a tender age, they'll tie the cow to a very big tree. Anytime the cow moves, the tree restricts it. Anytime the cow moves, the tree restricted. So even though the car is growing, the car has learned not to really move. So that's why in India you can see a small boy or 6 years old controlling a cow. You wonder why the car not running away. The car has thought that I can't move. Why is it that Nigerians can't move?
You see, it's very obvious that Nigeria can't move. Not because Nigeria do not know how to move, but because we have come to the point that moving forward is no longer an aspiration or a dream. For instance, take this protest, you call it protest. What we saw was Occupy Nance. How do you understand the word occupy? To go there and make a resident there. But they will go there, spend a few hours and leave. Like you are just saying, it was not occupy.
Transmit to free followers.
They were going there to create content. They were not fighting for their right. So that is the situation we are. Because if we were to be a country that decided to move forward, by now everybody should be at the National Assembly with their gas cooker, their mattresses, their pillowcase, and all of that. Whether you are big or you are small, you are rich, you are poor. We said we are occupying NAS until they do the right thing. We didn't say we are going to protest at NAS. So they are two different things. So you see that we don't do what we say we are. It's not only our leader, even we the masses
are not doing what we should do. All right, let me just push a little bit. The tussle between Nenadi and that of Abure is taking a new turn. Yesterday, the night into yesterday, Nenadi's faction took over the National Secretariat, and we are getting this morning. I think our correspondents have moved down there. We should be getting the update very soon. We are getting this morning that Abure has taken over the Secretariat. Is it that there's something called suboptimality? The fight that is not really necessary to take you there. All this fight is just keeping labor abusing. And if Nenadi's faction was able to take over the Secretariat, from what we had, there were the trucks of police officers that came. Who would have released those trucks of police officers? Is Nenadi working with the government, or who is now working with the government? How are they taking over?
Most of the time we have projected these things, especially in this studio. Is only that most of the time our listeners they look straight, but they don't look at the side to side and see where it's coming. If you are on the driving seat, what you do, that there's a mirror here, there's a mirror here, there's a mirror there. You must check all the mirrors to know which side is going. When has Nenadi become the friend of the federal government? That they are giving him a truckload of police to take over labor. Where is the convention or the congress or the NEC meeting that brought Nenadi as chairperson of labor?
And when has somebody who is doing something lawfully begins to think that I should forcefully take over?
Do you understand?
Because if you are a Labour Party national chairman, there's no tempo that is for you. Anywhere you meet and sign a letter,
let me come in here. The Nenadi faction claimed that they had a court order that ordered them to take over the leadership of Labour Party, which the INEC graciously recognized. But the Abure faction has appealed.
Yes.
And appeal stands as a state.
Appeal is a natural state.
So if the matter is already on appeal and you are taking over the rest is destroyed. At the end of the day, Abure get judgment. So this country, the judiciary should be very, very careful, and the executive.
I think one of the people that also should be careful is the populace. You see, you don't be carried away by every wind.
No. You know what we are trying to.
Do you know why I said that?
Yeah.
Because when the Obi faction, Obi
was
obedient, even after Obi had left Labour,
Yeah.
and Nenadi assumed from court order
Yeah.
the leadership.
Yeah.
They were hailing the judgment. But let me tell you something. Nenadi is not working for Obi. They must know this.
Because if
Nenadi
you
is
look at
working-
Nenadi is in tattoo with Oti.
Yes.
Oti is Asiwaju's right hand.
We have said it here over and over that if you go back to our past videos, you will see that we said OT as it is today is an APC person. We were very clear that OT cannot claim to be Obi's friend, and it's becoming clearer. And
And Oti said when Obi was leaving, he said he informed me and I wished him well. Do you understand? You cannot say it was not the Obi's movement that brought Oti. Oti cannot say that. There's no way Oti will say that.
Course.
There's not the Obi's movement that brought it. He may say that in just
No, he said it
political
immediately
talk.
after the election, but
Exactly.
we believe
But
that
we know.
it was obedient
Either
that
we
made
don't
him-
even believe. We know that it was obedient.
obedient, yeah.
He has tried first time, second, Olule. Am I correct?
All right, we'll be updating you with the outcome of Labour Party Secretariat takeover. Abure taking over and Nenadi taking over. So we'll get back with that detail very shortly.